Scott, oh my God, where do I begin? I've known Scott since we were little kids. He grew up in the circus the way I did. He was always a little on the strange side.
Oh, Scott, the first time I met him was way a long time ago in clown college.
He was just here selling coloring books and balloons and stuff, and then he started, escalating up, and then he turned out to be a performer.
Scott is much older than he looks.
Scott reminds me of my great-grandfather.
But in the 70s, we did the tightrope act together. And I tried teaching him about clowning. He has no sense of timing. He has no sense of anything. He doesn't even pay attention to the audience. To be honest with you, he was terrible. He was absolutely horrible.
Well, the first time I met Scott, it's kind of an odd story. He just appeared and said he wanted to do flying trapeze. And I said to him, that takes a lot of hard training. And Scott's like, no, I have dreamt it all my life, so I think I can do it because I've done it in my dreams.
So he was wearing a rope, and we all thought that he had underneath his tights, right? So then he went up there with the rope, and before he was going to jump for a big flight and do the trick that he wanted to show us, he took off the rope, and he was nude. Yeah, and that's how we find out that he was the frogman. Yeah, he has a birthmark like a frog in his private parts.
I was so in love with him. I planned on spending the rest of my life with Scott. I guess you could say I was like too well-groomed for him. He ended up falling in love with the bearded lady.
I remember Scott, he came outside and saw the bearded fat lady in front of the circus in the sideshow and said, "Oh, he just fell in love with her."
I mean, they look like they really loved each other, from what I hear, but never know with Scott. He had a very bad gambling problem.
I never met his fat lady, but I heard a lot about that woman. I really don't know what was the deal. I really heard a lot of people in the circus talking about Scott's wife. I don't know if it was really his wife, but
the marriage was a fake. It was only for sex and nothing else.
Well, the relationship with the bearded fat lady and Scott was like, I don't know. There was only loyalty on one side. Scott was all over the place. He was looking at the half man, half woman. I mean, he wasn't satisfied with the bearded lady. I don't know what his problem is, but I mean, she was nice, man. She was huge.
The fat bearded lady, yes. He dated her and she was so in love with him, and I think they got married at one point in Vegas, so not sure whatever happened with that.
The poem was that she was way too good looking for Scott, so that marriage never lasted.
Their nights were very wild. If you were their neighbor, you would definitely know they were happy or not, and you could hear it. You could hear it.
The bearded lady used to get drunk and beat him up, and he used to get drunk, and always making scandals outside the trailer.
But I didn't know that they were actually married. And those little ones, those were probably their kids. Oh my goodness.
And they had like 5 kids, and they all had many beard, it had a lot of hair, and it was really disgusting and ew.
Oh, they're bearded fat kids. Ooh, Scott's bearded fat kids were probably the ugliest thing. Imagine a bearded lady and Scott having kids together. Eesh.
I think that's where his obsession started with hairy things. He used to go into the petting zoo late at night, and he was caught stroking the animals.
Yeah, the problem with the petting zoo is we had a long-haired goat, and he was kind of thinking that was, the bearded lady, and it was. I can't even talk about it on camera. It was disgusting.
He used to always love going to the animals and just staring at them, and then just touching them and like just looking at their hair.
Probably he was embarrassed, about his sexuality, but if you like goats, you like goats, it's free country after all.
Scott, one time, he gets the crazy because he said, well, I'm not good at being a clown. I'm going to try to become a lion tamer.
And Scott just, opened that cage, jumped right in there, and it took over.
And he said, I'm going in with the lion and tigers. The act, in the cage. He said, you're nuts. He's not going to do it.
So he gets in the lion tamer cage, and all of a sudden, they let the lions in.
And the tiger pees on Scott. Scott goes, I'm not having it.
And then he starts running around. Actually, that was the funniest thing that he ever did as a clown and as a lion tamer, was running around looking like a fool.
Scott walks in there, pees on the tiger. He beat on the tiger.
We all thought he was like, I don't know, high or something. We were all just thinking, what was he thinking?
But obviously we all know he's just an alcoholic. He doesn't fight tigers or anything for that matter. So it was a bad idea. Came out pretty bruised and beat up.
Just remember that I wish that he would have been torn to shreds.
Scott also used to try to hit on a lot of the girls in the show, you know, but they took it with a little grain of salt, so he wasn't very lucky. Maybe that's why he got stuck with the bearded lady.
He was always hitting on all the girls, I'll tell you that, from the circus. All the circus girls would see him and go, no, not Scott.
The girls called him Uncle Creepy.
Mr. Creepy, yes. He used to hit on anything passing by.
Every time we'd come in to get on our uniforms, our clown uniforms, he would be trying to peek through the gym, through holes, trying to make holes to look at the girls' locker rooms, the girl clowns. He was just a big perv.
We used to call Scott Uncle Creepy because he always used to freak us out.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons why they call him Uncle Creepy, because he started doing balloon animals. Instead of making a tail, he made a private part, and the kids weren't, I mean, they got creeped out.
You know, the kids ask for giraffes. He kind of gives them not a giraffe, if you know what I mean.
He never could do a dog, you know, always looked like a...
It's not right. He's not well with children.
He would shove a balloon animal, I don't know where, and come out with a gerbil. It was insane.
He always was telling them, we have to have a frog act. Watch, I'm a perfect frog. And make like a frog voice and stick out his tongue and hop around everywhere.
He kind of looks like a frog. I don't know, he's jumping around, you know. His whole clown gag was all about frogs, and that was pretty creepy too.
The hopping around, he's hopping around, froggy stuff, it's creepy.
Oh, the time he got fired.
He was trying to hit on the wife of the owner of the show.
I heard something about the boss's wife and the boss's sister and the boss's nephew and a big bag of Quaaludes. And you mix all of these different genders and different generations up, and there was Scott Ward in the middle with frog juice. It was crazy.
One is the boys, the girls, the trying to do things on the nude, and the drinking, the problems outside the trailers. We just couldn't take it anymore. We have to let him go.
There was a few people that were very disappointed, and there was a few people that were kind of happy. You know, the whole bearded fat family left.